Millions of people stare at the ceiling every night, trapped in that frustrating gap between turning off the lights and actually losing consciousness. And even when sleep finally comes, many wake up feeling completely unrested. To force their brains to shut down, millions rely on pharmaceutical sedatives, drugs like diazepam, trading true restorative rest for a chemically induced knockout. Research confirms that lavender essential oil acts as a potent, non-light-based sedative, capable of physically modifying how your brain cycles through sleep. To understand how this works, we need to map out the exact chemical compounds in the plant, trace how they rewrite deep sleep, look at why the resulting data fractures along gender lines, and build a protocol to use it effectively tonight. This process bypasses the placebo effect of generic aromatherapy. The clinical data shows it is a direct neurobiological trigger, with a hypnotic efficacy rivaling standard pharmaceutical sleep aids. The active mechanism relies on 5 specific sleep-promoting monomers inside the essential oil, primarily compounds like linalool and D-limonene. This animated diagram shows the olfactory neural pathway. When inhaled, these compounds bypass the bloodstream, traveling directly from the nasal cavity to a region deep in the brain called the central amygdala. Once there, these monomers ignite a specific cluster of GABAergic neurons. GABA is the brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter. You can think of it as the biological braking system that actively suppresses wakefulness and tells your central nervous system to shut down. We know this pathway is an absolute requirement because of controlled mouse studies. When researchers blocked the mice's olfactory receptors using a nasal injection of zinc sulfate, the sedative effects of the lavender completely disappeared. This olfactory stimulus initiates a precise neurochemical engagement with the brain's internal inhibitory circuits. When we scale up to human trials, researchers map these effects overnight using polysomnographic testing, tracking brainwaves through an electroencephalogram, or EEG. The first thing the sensors pick up is a significant drop in NREM latency. The test subjects transition from awake to asleep in a fraction of their normal time. This hypnogram shows the lavender-enhanced cycle expanding slow-wave sleep. Increased cortical delta power keeps the brain in its deepest restorative phase longer. In insomnia models, the speed it reestablishes deep sleep tracks remarkably close to potent sedatives like diazepam. However, the data reveals a surprising gender divergence in the secondary sleep phases. For women, the presence of lavender increases the amount of stage 2 light sleep they get, while decreasing their overall REM sleep. For men, the sensors record the exact opposite. Their stage 2 light sleep decreases, and their time spent in REM actually goes up. Even though light sleep and REM cycles fracture depending on your gender, the massive increase in restorative slow-wave sleep happens universally across all subjects. The clinical consensus is clear. These specific plant compounds offer a scientifically validated, non-invasive method for treating sleep disorders. It relies entirely on a chemical trigger traveling up the olfactory nerve to hit the biological brakes and plunge the brain into deeper rest. If you want to test this protocol yourself tonight, the first step is making sure your nasal passages are completely clear. Since the olfactory route is a strict biological requirement, congestion will block the compounds from reaching your central amygdala. Second, introduce the essential oil right as you intend to fall asleep. Because it physically shortens sleep onset latency, inhaling it too early while you're still reading or watching TV wastes its initial induction effect. Finally, if you use a wearable fitness tracker to monitor your sleep, don't panic if you see sudden shifts in your REM or light sleep ratios over the next few days. As the human trials showed, that variance is entirely normal and depends heavily on your gender. Strategic application of these scientifically proven chemical triggers provides a biological pathway to morning vigor, offering a potent alternative to traditional prescriptions.